What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Keeping It EPL. That's right. Myself and my colleague over here, Matthew Sales, aka at the Salesman, keeping it real. But I will admit, this last week, we were humbled just a little bit.
Yep.
Just a tad. We were living on the edge. Going, man, this is too easy. This is too easy. We're predicting everything. And then last weekend happened.
Last week we did not predict things very well. It was a rough week. If you picked the right 4 bets that we hit, congratulations.
Ollie Watkins, a given every week.
Given. That was nice.
Seems. The I thought that Salah to Diaz would hit for sure, but
I thought a lot of things would hit. Clearly didn't.
But what last week did do is turn the table completely around.
It did.
It turned everything around. Everything we thought we knew is now changed completely. Like, it's not even crazy. And we talked last week too about how important that the Rodri injury would be for Man City.
Yes.
Here's how important this is. Currently, odds to win the Premier League. Arsenal is favored in every major book now.
Yes.
Arsenal is favored in every book. However, a certain team leads the table by a point.
Yes.
I don't get it. And I'm looking at the odds for this next weekend, and it boggles my mind even more. It's crazy. I don't get it. But we'll get into that more. So what are your thoughts now that Arsenal is now the favorite? Plus 110 on FanDuel, plus 125 Bet365, plus 140 DraftKings, plus 150 BetMGM, and Caesars has bet plus 125 as well.
Well, my cat, I don't know if my cat agrees or disagrees.
I don't know either.
That in the background. Hopefully she disagrees.
Because they have injury issues of their own too, by the way.
It makes sense. Like, if you just go based off of last year, right? Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. We talked about this in the beginning, like the very first episode when we recapped the offseason moves, and those 3 teams didn't really make moves, right? Arsenal got better defensively because they added a healthy Gabriel Jesus, and Calafiori is there now, right? Liverpool changed coaches, but didn't really add a ton in the offseason.
But they also didn't lose a ton either.
They didn't lose a ton, right? And then we talked about last week how Rodri, they have a third when Man City has played without Rodri, the 21 games in his Premier League career that he has been at Man City that he hasn't played, they've lost a third of those.
And look what happened.
They did not look crisp and clean last week in Newcastle. Now,
they did not.
Granted, St. James's Park, pretty tough place to go and play. Newcastle seems to be on it right now. But that was dicey for sure.
It is Matchweek 7 that we're going into.
Yes.
And
but I will say the other last part of this is that Liverpool was right there with them last year, right?
Until the end. Yeah, they actually, I
think, till the end, and then they
think Liverpool
points, and that
Liverpool led more weeks in the Premier League last year than any other team.
Yes.
Until the end, yeah.
Yes, they did. And then they had 3 draws compared to
they had a rough last month
6 weeks was Yeah, they kind of were the first one to blink, so to speak, in the 3-team race. However, Liverpool's way more controlled this year in what they're doing. It's not like running hair on fire.
Their biggest weakness has been their defense, actually. Their winger defense for a while, with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robinson playing so far up front.
Yeah.
Now, they're still playing up front, but their midfield is the most controlled I've seen it since Xavi Alonso was there. It's been a long time since that has happened. So we got Szoboszlai, you got McAllister, you got the I forgot his name right now. It's driving me crazy. The guy from Holland. But
Yeah,
they're playing really good in the midfield, which helps that. And they have the best defensive record in the league.
yeah. They've only allowed what, 2
One
goals?
one goal, I believe.
Is it 1 goal? Yeah, to Forest.
Yeah.
Forest
Yeah,
scored.
the only one that really mattered.
Correct. Um, and Arsenal's missing Martin Odegaard for what could be another couple months.
I'm sorry, Liverpool, they did give up a goal to the Wolves.
There you go. So
They
2,
did. So 2 goals. Yeah.
2 goals. Um, I would say that right now Liverpool should be like, if you can get value on that line, I would take it right
Get
now.
them at DraftKings plus 450. They're the 3rd team right
I would take
now.
that
Now,
value.
2 weeks ago, you could have had them at plus 800, plus 1,000.
And by the way, if we look at the expected table that's on Opta Analysis,
I love that expected table. It's the best.
Liverpool is 1, where they sit. Man City is 2, which is where they sit. Arsenal, who currently sits 3rd, is expected to be 9th because they can't score.
Yeah, and they're the favorite right now, current odds to win.
Chelsea is 4th, and they sit 4th in the
Well,
expected
they've had a couple good
deal.
weeks, and they're right up there now. They're 4th in the league. Yeah.
Villa is sitting where they're expected to be. They're 5th. Fulham
Mhm.
is sitting where they're expected to be.
Mhm.
Okay. So, like, Tottenham expected to be 3rd because they've dominated a crap ton of categories. They just haven't put balls in the net when it would actually help. Um, and they're
Yeah.
sitting 8th. So it's gonna be a long season. It's gonna be an intriguing race, but I will say that Man City does look vulnerable for the first time in a long time.
They really do. And, not to mention that this week we also have some Champions League fixtures that's gonna
We do.
change the outcome maybe possibly of this
I
week.
I think
Man
we're
City
gonna
won today.
know.
Man City won 4-0 today. Arsenal won 2-0 against PSG, which is a huge result. So, Arsenal beating PSG 2-0 may have been the reason why they plummeted to the top of the Premier League,
Probably, but it
right?
is a PSG that no longer has Kylian Mbappe.
It's true.
I mean, they're still loaded. It's not like he made
Now PSG
it, but
is it seems like they're loaded every year because they're loaded for their for
right,
for League One, right? Like,
correct.
yeah, but if you look at it on paper, their depth isn't really there. They got superstars,
But their
but
bench isn't there. So if
correct.
you
And this
yes,
has been their issue for a long time. And they're worse this year arguably than they have been in a long time. So
correct.
we also say that Man City just took care of whoever the hell BRT is. I don't even know what that is. 4-0. Okay. They didn't start a lot of starters because obviously they got Premier League and then Liverpool and Aston Villa also face off. Aston Villa has the tougher match because they're playing a really good Byron team who has a lot to prove because last year they were disgraceful.
Correct. By the way, I think we're going to learn a lot about Arsenal coming up between October 20th and November 30th. Are you familiar with their schedule there, Mr. Rouse,
Like,
the Liverpool fan?
it is the gauntlet of schedules during that time
Between
for Arsenal.
October 20th and November 30th, Liverpool plays Chelsea, RB Leipzig, Arsenal, Brighton, Leverkusen, Aston Villa. Their lone easy game is Southampton. Then they play Real Madrid, who, by the way, now has Kylian Mbappe. And then
Real Madrid is the favorite to win the Champions League, by the way.
I mean, they should be. Their front line is insane.
And they've also won
Um,
2 of the last 3.
yes. And then their final game of that stretch is Man City. So I think by the end of Thanksgiving, we're going to know a lot about Liverpool and just how well they can handle this.
And then, however, you look at the end of Thanksgiving and the rest of their schedule the rest of the year, not as hard. So, there's
I
also
mean, depends on how far they make it in Champions League, because obviously, if they
well, okay, as a Liverpool fan, I am tired of Liverpool being on top of the table on Boxing Day because it seems like it's happened every year for the last 4 or 5 years. And then it only one time the pandemic year they actually won. Okay. This may be the first time where we're not at the top of the table by Boxing Day, but however, the schedule towards the end of the road, like Man City has had the last couple of years, could be our key to coming up and taking it. But that's a lot down the road. So let's not go into that. Let's go into what happened last week and what could happen this week, because we got some explaining to do, man. Sales. We got to come back with a vengeance
Yeah.
this week. We
Yeah.
do. Let's be quick on the winners and losers. Big winner for me is Everton.
Yeah. Got points.
First win of the season.
Out of relegation.
Out of relegation, and obviously that explains itself. They were at home. People, a lot of people were down on them.
Yep.
Good for them. And the loser for me is in that same game, Crystal Palace. Still, this is a team. Again, we say this every week. I feel that Crystal Palace is a better team than the results show, and losing to Everton, who many thought were a bad team, including us, and I still think Everton is a bad team, but not good. And now you have Liverpool this weekend, and you're in relegation.
Yeah.
So they're my big loser. Everton's a big winner for me. Who's your big winner and loser from this last weekend?
So I had those two. Those two were the easy, low-hanging fruit of the week. I will say a big winner for me is Ipswich.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Drew with Aston Villa, they were always in that game.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, they could have won it if a couple of shots went their way. Their style of play is impressive. It's no wonder that Kieran McKenna was on the short list for Chelsea's managerial role once they set Poch free. So I would say Ipswich, big winner for me. You're tying a top 4 team who's literally playing Champions League games this week. And the loser for me, again, VAR. What exactly is the point of this if it continues to get things incorrect? Okay, let's start with the first key decision of the game of the week. They got a lot of attention. Murillo's PK foul against
that was
Fulham. Clearly no intent. If you slow it down, his eyes are following the ball. He just happens to nick the guy's ankle, and they give a PK for this after it's been reviewed and checked and
I think Nick is
whatnot.
the perfect word, but the fact that they called it on the field, I think, is the reason why it stood. It was
Right.
like one of those type of, if they didn't call it, it probably would have not been called. It was
Yeah,
one
I
of
think
those
by
type
the letter of the law, it's probably them because he does nick but like,
but if they didn't call it on the field,
right.
it
And they
probably
give him
would
the
have.
yellow, which I get. It's a foul in the box. Generally, you're getting a yellow for
Yeah.
that, right? However, like 10 minutes later in the same game, Alonga gets taken out by a guy literally swinging at his leg and not at the ball in the box when Alonga's trying to get a shot off. Reviewed, not called because apparently there was less contact on that play
There was
than there
not.
was.
There was definitely not either.
His leg gets like it's like the Karate Kid, like sweep the leg move. Like the guy's on the ground, he has no play on the ball, and all he's doing is sweeping along his leg so Alonga can't get a shot off. Not called a PK. It's reviewed, still not called. Whatever. Okay. Forest lose 1-0. Probably could have gotten something else out of that game. Chris Wood. Oh, and offside. He was clearly onside, by the way. That offside call was bad. Again, he was onside. So VAR was terrible there. Then Tottenham Man U. That was not a red card on Bruno Fernandes. It was not. I
It was
know I'm
not. It
wearing a
was not.
Tottenham kit. I know I'm not the
It
biggest
was
Man
it
U
was
fan.
not a red card. Here's the
He was
problem with this, though.
slipping.
Bruno Fernandes has a history.
Except he doesn't, because that was literally the first time he'd ever been sent off in a Man U kit in 240 plus games for
He
Man
has a
U.
history of being a little aggressive and being
Okay.
type of,
However,
doesn't he like
torrentially
lead
raining.
in yellow cards like every year, and he's never got a red card that long? Wow, that's actually a more impressive stat. To
I'm
be
pretty
honest,
sure Cuddy Romero leads in yellow cards
no,
most years, but
Fernandes is a yellow card getter. He's been
Okay.
suspended a lot of games for having a lot of.
There was no forceful contact. He was slipping and trying to keep himself from falling down when he makes contact with Madison. Granted,
Mhm.
a little high up by the knee. However,
Just
no cleats up.
a little high, just 3 foot up. Yes.
Yeah, it was a little high.
The cleats were not up though,
The
and
cleats were
it
not up.
did look like a mistake, not an intent. That's kind
Correct.
of
There was
where,
no intent.
yeah.
Everybody watching, everybody on the field, everybody who had a TV in front of their face, everybody who has Twitter knows that was not a red card, yet they called it a red card on the field, and then VAR upheld it, which is ridiculous. So they send them off. However, that has been rectified because there was news today that they overturned it. And so it basically got turned into a yellow, which is what it probably should have been.
But did they overturn the 3-0 win
No.
for
I
Tottenham?
will say Tottenham probably still wins that game, even if Fernandez is on the pitch because they were controlling that game for the
Yeah,
whole first half, which he was on the pitch for.
which puts me to the next thing
So
is that
I will
Man
say
U.
VAR is a loser because they simply got everything wrong this week.
I will say Man U is my biggest loser of the week.
I mean, 10 hogs down the negative hogs.
We're at negative hogs now, dude. We've been talking how many hogs he had since week 1. And
I mean, the broadcast crew said, usually I don't read the pregame program, but this week I did. And Ten Hog said in there, he highlighted the commentator highlighted this, said Ten Hog says nothing less than 100% from my players will do. And then they go out and do that. And the commentators kept coming back to it. Like,
yeah, they lost
can he keep
3-0
coaching
to
if
Spurs at
yeah.
home in
It
the
would,
what's called the Theater of Dreams, which
and
is
quite
the Theater of
frankly,
Nightmares.
it should have been 2-0 very quickly because Brennan Johnson should have had the second goal. He barely missed that one wide left, and that was when it was even strength. So for those of you going, well, it was down a minute. Okay, Spurs probably should have been up 2-0 even strength, and Man U looked outclassed the entire time.
Well, Man U once again dropped into the table. So let's look at the table where
Yeah,
it stands. Like I said, this table has been turned upside down. There are now only 2 undefeated or unbeaten teams
yeah,
in the Premier League. That is Man City and Arsenal, yet neither one of them are in first place because Liverpool, yes, they had that loss, but they've yet to draw. They are
correct.
5-0-1, and they sit with 15. Man City and Arsenal both at 14. Man City with a 1-goal advantage for that tiebreaker. Kind of where we thought we would be here right now with these top 3 teams. A big winner for me also was Chelsea. They're up to 4th now
Yeah,
on the table. 13 goals. They got an 8-goal differential, the same as Man City here.
yeah. Cole Palmer, by the way, became the first player in the history of the Premier League to have 4 goals in the first half of a game.
4 goals, 1 half. That was one of our bets was the over on that one, and that hit in like the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, the only problem is we also bet anytime goal Nico Jackson, who did
And
everything
not
but
Cole Palmer.
score.
And the week before, we were all on Cole Palmer. What the
Yeah.
heck, man? It's okay. We'll make up for it this week. Aston Villa dropped down a little bit, but still in the 5th. Kind of the 5 that we all expected. Newcastle is right there at 7. Fulham at 6, I think, is a big surprise here. Their goal differential is at 3, so not the best in the world. But you know what? They're not losing games. They're not
No.
losing games. They've only lost 1 game. And Fulham, I'm sorry, Newcastle 1 game, Fulham 1 game, and Fulham sits at 6th. Is what I was going to say. 6th on the table, and we know how hard they are to beat at home. So if they can keep this streak going, you never know. We could see them in Europe, not Champions League, but Europa. It could be.
Yeah.
They're playing really good football. They're playing defensive football, and they're really good at home.
Yeah. If you can defend your home, like you don't lose at home, there's 19 games in which you're getting a point.
Correct.
That's a massive advantage on the table. So,
Fulham at 6, Newcastle at 7th, kind of going up and down there. We kind of think they'll be better. They've been kind of boring. Remember how we talked about how Newcastle last year was so exciting?
yeah.
They've been a little boring this year. I
Yeah,
don't like that.
not so exciting this year.
Yeah, your cat
The
doesn't like
cat's
it
bringing more excitement to this podcast than your cat.
either. Tottenham at 8, moving up,
Speaking of
big win.
exciting,
Yep. Tottenham
when
at 8, so
Chelsea and Tottenham play this year, by the way, it's just going to be 11 dudes on the opposite side of the pitch
yeah.
with no defense in between.
No, I'm taking the over on that one for sure.
It's going to be 11 goals.
Through the first 5 weeks, we thought Brighton was on top of the world. Move all the way down to 9 now. I think that's the last we'll see of them in the top 6. I think the rest of the season. But hey, they had a good start to the season. Nottingham Forest drops down to 10. So we're starting to see the good teams that we thought, minus Fulham, be on top of the table. Within the top 8, I'm not surprised of anyone except for Fulham. Where last week or 2
Correct.
weeks
I could
ago,
see some of those teams aren't in the proper places as to as far as we think they're going to finish.
I think the top 3 is set. Although
Oh,
Chelsea
agreed.
could
That's
surprise.
clearly the 1A tier.
Chelsea could surprise, but yeah, there's the top 3 I think are going to be battling out all year for
I
the
mean, I had Chelsea 5th or 6th at the end of the year, so they're kind of where
yeah.
they're outperforming a little bit. But I think
Again, like I said, the expensive team is clicking a little bit. They're starting
yeah,
to play as a team, and I said if that were to happen, Chelsea would
I mean, there's
be a good
no
team.
doubt they've had the skill. They just need the consistency, and they're finding it.
Bournemouth at 11th right now, surprising. Brentford at 12th. Manchester United 13th falls again. Only okay. We're at what? We're going to match week 7.
Yes.
7 points for
They have more
Man
points
U
than goals.
and -3 differential.
The only team
Man
to
U
score
through 6
less
weeks.
the only team to score less goals than Man U this year is Southampton.
Jesus. And we like Southampton.
Yes,
I still
Southampton
can't
has 2
believe
goals.
that Southampton is as bad as they are. It's crazy. But here
Southampton
we
has
are.
2 goals. Um,
Man U is
Tottenham
closer.
has outscored Man U at Old Trafford this year.
Everybody has.
I
Liverpool
mean
has too.
no, but I mean, if you combine the 3 games at Old Trafford that Man U have played,
They're all
they have
losses, right? Haven't they
they have
lost every
1
game at home?
they have 1 goal.
And they've lost all of them at home, right?
No, they beat Fulham 1-0.
Oh, the very first game of the season. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they beat
Liverpool.
Fulham 1-0.
Yeah.
Tottenham had more expected goals in the 1 game in Old Trafford than Man U's had all season at Old Trafford.
Damn, Man U's
It's
struggling.
it's just not good.
He's out of hogs. He's minus hogs. You're right.
Yes.
13. They're closer to relegation than or anything else.
West Ham shouldn't be that low either, by the way.
They shouldn't. That's another
Based
surprise.
on talent, they shouldn't. Based on play, they should.
5 points after 6 match weeks.
Yes.
West Ham has a lot of explaining to do for sure. I think they'll get better, but they also have a rough stretch ahead looking forward.
Yes.
Although they do have Ipswich, which is in 15th right now, next week. So that could, or this week, I guess, would be a good turnaround game. More on that later. Everton out of the relegation, only -8 differential at 16. Way to go ahead and redeem yourselves. Except for the fact that they also have a point deduction coming their way before the end of
Probably.
the season. We'll see how that lasts. They got Newcastle this week. It's going to be interesting to say
Yeah.
the least. Leicester City out of the relegation. They're at 17th with 3, only from gold. Okay, this is the weirdest one. Crystal Palace is because of the losses in relegation. Leicester City is in relegation. They both have -4 differential. However, Leicester City has scored 12 goals. Crystal Palace only scored 9 goals so far.
Well, Leicester has 8 goals scored and Crystal Palace has 5.
Oh, what am I looking at then?
The
Goals,
allowed.
goals against. I'm stupid. Sorry. 8-5 goals. That's the next tiebreaker. And then goals allowed is the tiebreaker after that, right?
Right.
Okay. So I was just a little bit down the table there. So 8-5, 3 goals. Crystal Palace moves into the bottom zone. Southampton, dude. I don't know. What's going on with Southampton? They straight up have 5 losses and 1 draws and no wins. By the way, we are still at 5 teams with no wins.
Yes.
5. And one of them has more points than Everton, who has a win.
By the way, the expected relegation battle right now would be Leicester, Ipswich, Wolves, with Everton sitting in 17th.
Yeah, Wolves. They've been just bad.
It's
I don't know how to explain it. Like,
it's just not good.
they're
I
not
kinda
good at
tried to
all.
tell people going into the season that the Wolves lost defense, they lost scoring, they didn't replace anybody, and they didn't.
Like, we were talking about how bad Everton was to start the season and blowing
Yeah,
leads, but we kinda overlooked how bad Wolverhampton has actually been. They've been abysmal, like, to say the least.
yes,
They have the, lowest goal differential, the most goals against, and they've only scored how many goals?
6.
6 goals, which would be not the least. Ipswich has 5. Crystal Palace has 5.
Southampton has 3.
3. Dude, Southampton, get your stuff together.
But, I mean, as bad as Wolves have been, they've outscored Man U. So,
Hold on. I just saw that at the same time you were saying it.
they've outscored Man U. They have more goals than Man U.
Wolverhampton is last, dead last in the Premier League. They have the highest goal differential in the league. A
Yep,
lot of that has to do with the Chelsea game. I get it. They have scored more goals than Man United.
yes,
If that's not funny, I don't know what is.
it's yeah.
Jeez. Well, let's
On
get
that
into
note,
let's get into match week 7, shall we?
yes, let's see if we can pick a little bit better this week.
We we will. We'll give our draws of the week, and I
Yeah.
think I hit my draw of the week last week was one of our wins, I
Yeah,
believe.
by the way, you want another loser of the week? Me, because I forgot to do all of the picks in our pool except for Sunday's picks.
You didn't play any picks?
No, on Sunday morning it goes 3 games left to pick, and I was like, "Oh no, I didn't do any of Saturday."
So
So I picked
did I finally overtake you on the table? Is what I want
yeah,
to
only because I spotted people
say.
7 games on Saturday.
My friend, though, I do have, and I do it, and I'm going to say this: I have a 3 week in a row. I've hit 3 weeks in a row. My draw of the week. I'm
There
three
you
in a
go.
row. 3 in a row. My draw of the week.
If VAR was correct, I would have hit mine.
Okay, enough for the VAR. We get it. We hate it.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Bring some Charles Barkley in here.
You know what's not terrible? The first matchup of the weekend, which I will not be waking up for, even
Um,
though it is a Liverpool game.
that's because it's like 4:30 in the morning for you.
I know. And here's my rant of this podcast here. Matt
Yes.
Sells, who's on top of the table?
Liverpool.
Why are they only a minus 200, minus 195 favorite over Crystal Palace? Whoa, before you answer, why is Arsenal a minus 800 favorite over Southampton? Why is Man City without Rodri minus 450, minus 476? Who's on top of the table?
That would be Liverpool.
Where's Crystal Palace on the table?
They are 18th.
Relegation. Why the hell is Liverpool only minus 200?
I mean, I don't know. I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt with the expected table because Crystal Palace is 13th, but Southampton's 15th. So the difference between Arsenal, who can't score goals, by the way. Well, I mean, they can, but not like as proficiently as other teams. But I don't get this line either. I almost
It's
wanted to
at
take
Crystal Palace.
Liverpool.
It's at Crystal Palace, right?
I almost wanted to take Liverpool to win, but like I
However,
also don't like the value.
Liverpool has struggled against Crystal Palace.
They have.
Last year, Crystal Palace in Anfield. One of the games that we just talked about earlier in the show.
Correct.
1-0. Liverpool in this fixture last year won 2-1 Crystal
Mhm.
Palace. The year before that, 0-0. And the year before that, 1-1.
Correct.
So Liverpool has only beat Crystal Palace once in the last 4 meetings, 2 ties, and 1 defeat. That's why the odds makers have it this way.
Yes.
Do we take the minus 200?
I'm tempted to.
Me too.
I just don't see anything from like I know Crystal Palace has drawn 3 of their last 5, right? But they're
Mhm.
also coming off a loss to Everton.
Yeah.
They also lost to West Ham, who is, by the way, also down here in the table. So while they're drawing against, I mean, they drew Man U and Leicester. Whoop-de-doo. They drew Chelsea. Congrats. That was admittedly a weird Chelsea game because I'm pretty sure it also had 14 yellow cards.
Yes, I was. Yes, it did. Yeah.
Without anybody actually getting sent off, which is a feat in itself. I don't see how Liverpool loses this game.
Liverpool has
But
the best
I still
defense.
don't want to take the bet because I don't like the minus 195 line.
Liverpool has the best defense in the league. They're number one in almost every defensive category there is in the Premier League. Defensively for Crystal Palace, not so great. Offensively, Liverpool, they're in third in goals in the first half, only seventh in goals for second half. They're third in goals in general. They've number one in scoring first, by the way, which was a downfall last year.
Correct.
My bet for this one is Liverpool up at the half.
Liverpool's up at the half. Let's go see what that
Yep.
line is. Because I had no bets. I didn't like any of the lines this week. I don't know who's going to score
I
for
think
Liverpool. They've been incredible.
Liverpool has been the best first half scoring team in the EPL all season, except for the Nottingham Forest game.
Correct.
And I think they score in the first half, and I'm going to take that they score in the first half and they're up at half. That is
So you have
my
Liverpool up at half. It's even money.
perfect. Let's take it.
Okay.
That is my pick for this game. Do you have a pick for this game? You
I-
want to go? You want to do the most solid to Luis Diaz?
No. Well, this is going to be the week it hits, but no, I'm fine
Liverpool
with that.
Liverpool has scored the most goals in the first half of the season. I'm taking them to be up at half instead of winning the game to try to save that minus 200 to put it at even. So there's my.
There you go.
You have nothing on this one?
No, because like the anytime goal scoring markets weren't that great.
They're not that great in this going either. Yeah.
I don't want to bet the clean sheet because you never know. Like maybe they fall asleep late in the second half and sneak one in like Wolves did.
I could. All right, we'll take mine then only. We'll take mine, and mine's going to be that Liverpool will be up. We'll win the first half.
Okay.
Moving on to the next matchup, we have Ipswich at West Ham United. Interesting matchup here. Surprisingly, West Ham is as bad as they are, and Ipswich has been kind of on a little bit of a run here.
Correct.
So, draw. Are you calling a draw? Is this going to be your draw of the week here?
Yes, I think it is.
No way, it is.
Yeah, I actually have two.
Well, it's in your. It's okay. Literally, Ipswich have drawn their last 4 games, and West Ham United has drawn 2 of their last 3 games.
Correct. I'm going draw. It's plus 300. Nobody's a negative favorite, right? They're both plus money odds to win on the money line. So this tells you it's kind of a split decision. I don't think West Ham figures it out yet. I think the system that Kieran McKenna is running is capable of sticking in the Premier League. Ipswich has been playing lights out right now, for them at least. I will say they don't have a win yet. But like if you look at who Ipswich has drawn, they drew Liverpool for the first half of that game. And then Liverpool beat them 2-0. But it wasn't the cleanest, easiest 2-0, right? Man City, they were actually leading. They scored first against Man City at the Etihad. And then Erling Haaland woke up and put in a hat trick and it was over. They drew Fulham. They drew Brighton when they were both like this was when Brighton was like 5th in the table, 6th on the table. Fulham is 6th in the table. They drew Southampton, but we've talked about Southampton being perhaps the unluckiest team in the league. They lead in shots and shots created and possession and passes and not goals. Then they drew Aston Villa. They have 3 draws against 3 top 6 teams. I'm fine with this. I think West Ham has enough to draw. I'm also going over 3.5 for the goals at
Over
+1. Over 3.5.
over 3.5.
Yes, I think it's a 2-2 draw.
Okay, I am okay. I like
If
the
you
under.
look at the stats on the year, right? Both teams concede 1.67 goals per match right now,
Yes,
which basically tells you it's gonna be, 3.5 to 4 goals.
but West Ham is not scoring goals.
They're scoring basically the same as Ipswich.
Oh, I like the under in this one.
You like the under. You're going 1-1 draw? I think this
I like
one
the
is
under.
2-2.
I was before you said you like the over. I was like and I wrote this down earlier. Said I like the under 2.5 on this one.
The under 2.5. What's the odds on under
You
2.5?
get +120.
You want to split? You want to go over 3.5 or under 2.5?
Is it both plus money?
Over 3.5 is +176.
Yeah, let's split it then.
Okay.
That way, either way. I mean,
This is how I get talked into more bets than
if
I'm gonna do.
if it hits at 3, we're screwed.
Yeah, but then it's also
Not
not a
only
draw.
yeah, we're really screwed. But yeah, let's do that. I really like the under this one. I
So under
ne-
2.5
neither. Yeah, this is gonna be
+120. Okay.
yeah plus
So it's
120.
either gonna be a 1-1 draw or a 2-2 draw. Is
Actually,
what
we
we're
actually at Bet Rivers at currently under 2.5 is +123. So let's do that one.
okay, fine. You can extra.
Man, I really that I was like really excited about the under on this one. That was like one of my favorite picks of the weekend.
Well, there you go.
So, all right, yeah. Well, at least either way, unless it hits 3, if it hits 3, we're
Well, then
we're,
we're missing the whole game.
we're both
So
screwed. But I like the draw and I like it under, and you like it over. So we'll see how it all plays
I mean,
out.
it was 2-2 Villa Ipswich last
I
week.
mean, the draw is at +320, right? Or +300.
Plus 300.
So if we hit the draw and either one of those were up, so it really doesn't matter.
Yes.
This is soccer betting, people. This is how it works. Now, if it's 2-1, we're screwed.
Right. I mean, then it's clearly not a draw, and we didn't hit the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like the way we attacked it. I'm okay with it. Southampton is a +2,000 underdog going into Emirates to play Arsenal, who's -800, -910 at places.
I like the.
Favorite here.
I do have an under bet here.
Okay.
Under 3.5 goals is -109.
Under 3.5
That means Arsenal could win like 3-0, which I feel is.
Now, have you went back and looked at the last 3 matchups between these two teams?
Yeah, but here's my problem. They're so long ago that like.
Last year, both times these two teams played, they drew.
Well, it was 2 years ago.
Oh, you're right. It was 2 years ago because Southampton
And
just came
keep in
in.
mind, Southampton brought in 16 players this summer.
Yeah.
So not 100% sure that this is anywhere close to the same teams that they were 2 years ago.
Dude, looking at these rankings here of all these stats, how is Arsenal favored to win the Premier League? I don't get it. I just
I don't
don't
get it either, but like,
get it.
I mean, Southampton lost 3-0 to Man U. 3
Is
of Man U's 5 goals came against Southampton.
is there a bet of just Southampton to score a goal? Like a goal?
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's like Arsenal not keeping a clean sheet.
Clean sheet, no. Yes. Let's bet up.
It'd be a clean sheet. No, I don't know what it would.
That's gonna be my bet if we could find it.
Yeah, I can find it for Arsenal. No, it's +100.
That's my bet for this game. I
You
think Southampton gets one in.
You do. So you think it's what, 2-1 Arsenal?
3-1.
3-1? So you're going the over 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, we love Southampton. Okay, Southampton, like we said, they're in the top of the league on shots on goal, shots
Yeah,
on target, possession. passing
But they
efficiency.
also haven't played a team with the defense of Arsenal.
Yeah, but they're hurt. And okay, Arsenal
They
recently.
they still have the best center back duo in the league.
Leicester City got 2 on them last week. Like
Yeah, but
Leicester
Leicester's
City
been
got
scoring more than Southampton.
2 on them.
I mean, sure, but Man U also kept Southampton out of the net. Beat them 3-0.
I'm feeling it. You like clean sheet or no? I say no
We
clean
can
sheet.
go no clean sheet. That's fine.
That's my pick.
I'm looking up the over
That's
for
my pick. I
3.5.
will own it. If I lose all my picks and you win all my picks, I will own it. I'm
By
saying
the
no
way,
clean
over
sheet.
three and
That's
a
my
half
pick.
goals is even money too.
Over 3.5.
Over 3.5 is even
We
money.
got 3-1.
I have under 3.5 is -109. Over is even money. So they think there's that's the cutoff.
My pick is just that Southampton scores a goal, so no clean sheet. That's
Yep.
my pick. I'm
I'm
just going
going
off.
under.
I'm going off of stats.
Yep.
Going off of stats. My stats tell me Southampton will score a goal in this. They may get clobbered
I'm
6-1.
simply going under 3.5.
That's fine.
So if Arsenal wins 3-0 or 2-1
You're good. We're we're
or
we're
1
we're both.
nothing, whatever.
I just think Southampton gets one back in this one. I really do.
Yeah.
Moving on to the team that quietly we haven't been talking about how bad they are.
Wolves.
Wolves going into Brentford.
I
Brentford
have 3 bets
surprisingly
for this one.
what?
I have 3 bets for this one.
3?
It's the game I have the most. 2 of them play off
This
each
is
other.
the one game I don't want to watch, and you have the most bets for it. Great.
2 of
Love
them
it.
play off each other though. So
All right.
I have Brentford to win at -105.
Give me yours. Okay, that's mine. Okay. We're on the same page.
I have Brentford to win and both teams score at +275.
Ooh, I like that one too.
And then I have I can't pronounce his name, but Brian Bamo, I guess, for Brentford to score. +195.
Okay.
He's got 4 goals this year.
He does. Okay, we're gonna split. I'm with you on all those. My pick
So they're
was
not like 2 of them play off each other, and then one of them is an anytime
my
goal,
my
which
pick was I'm taking the -105. I think that's
that's
a good
way
value.
too like, why is that where it is?
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with the total, but I like what you did there. Let's go.
Yeah, I didn't like the totals. I didn't like
Yeah,
but I think Wolves get one in.
I do too.
I don't think
You know,
Brentford keeping a clean
this
sheet
this
here.
could be the crazy game that ends up like 5-4 too. Right?
Yeah, like 3-2, 4-3, somewhere in there. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna
yeah,
be
yeah.
bonkers.
I like it. Put it on the board. Put it on the board. You had mine and yours, so we're just gonna
I
say,
told you I had less bets this week. I kinda do because there's some games I'm not betting.
okay. Well, I'll lead the way there. This is a game I am betting. Bournemouth going to Leicester City. This is my draw of the week.
Okay, so we're gonna differ here a little bit.
No,
I have one bet, it's Bournemouth to win at +1.
no, away.
It's Steve Cooper, man. They fell asleep. They almost had a draw against Arsenal, and then they fell asleep and allowed a set piece goal. That's his weakness. Like they they have the lead until like the 77th minute, or they're even till the 77th minute, and then they completely crap the bed for the last 15 minutes of the game.
That's true.
I watched it for 2 years at Forest.
Well, good news for you is it's both plus money. So if either
Yeah.
they win or it's a draw, we still are in the plus.
Okay, so
So
what's the
if
what's
Leicester
the
wins, we're screwed. It's plus 275 for the draw, and then you
Yeah.
could get plus 115 for
Yeah.
Bournemouth.
I didn't like any of the totals. I don't like
Me
any of
either.
the anytime goal scored.
This is, and by the way, remember, I have a 3-week draw of the week pick run I'm on. This could be 4.
I think I've hit 3 of 4, but I haven't hit consecutive.
I'm on a roll. This is my draw of the week.
There you
Leicester
go.
City, Bournemouth. Fulham goes to Man City. Man City, surprisingly, okay, if this was 3 weeks ago, it wouldn't be minus 450. It would be minus 600, minus 700. But here we are.
In the Arsenal range.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are at minus 400. This is a game I want no part of.
I don't want any parts of this either.
You have negative for Erland to score, so really no value there.
And he basically was invisible most of last week.
So do you want to pull the same thing I had earlier and say no clean sheet?
I mean, Fulham can score. Clearly, Man City can still score, although it's tough. We could
They're 10th in the league of goals per game for.
we could see what.
So midway through the table.
Let's see what clean sheet. Let's see. We have Fulham no clean sheet is minus 2,000, so they fully expect Man City to score.
Yeah.
Man City no clean sheet is minus 138. It's still
Wow.
not
So they
high.
expect Fulham to score.
Yeah. I still don't want any parts of this game.
I don't, but I want to see what is Man City to win by 1.
What is Man City to win by 1? Man City by 1 goal is plus 333.
We have to. No?
Okay.
I mean, the odds are telling us it's going to be it could be 2-1.
It could be. I
No? You don't want to take it?
mean, if you want to, sure, we can go with it. That's fine. You can.
What's Man City to win by 2?
Man City to win by 2 is plus 300. So it's actually shorter odds than win by 1.
Why don't we just take them both?
Split and see what happens.
Yeah.
We're doing this every week with Man City.
Win by 1 or win by 2.
Okay. We can
Let's do it.
split 'em. All right.
If one of those hits, we're plus money. It works. Now, if they win by 3, we're screwed. But or if they
Yeah,
draw or lose,
I don't think they're winning by 3.
I like it. Let's do to win by 1 or win by 2.
Okay.
I think they win, but
I do too.
I don't think they absolutely dominate this match.
Okay. That's fine. We found odds we like.
Here's one I think we may agree on: Newcastle going to Everton.
Yes.
I'm taking just Newcastle straight up to win.
I don't think we agree. This was my second.
Oh, now get out of here with your draw of the weeks. Newcastle needs to turn it around. They need a big win. Newcastle, by the way, 4th in the Premier League in goals in the second half.
Yeah.
You want me to talk about the
scoring all of their goals in the second half? It's like John Duran coming in for Villa in the second half and being shocked that they score.
Correct. They've been on a bad run, but they were able to tie Man City, and their away record pretty good. I think they win this game. I'm going Newcastle plus 115 to win the game. No draw here. Everton loses. We're gonna split again. Try to get some change, chump.
Yeah, we're gonna go half units on these. The ones that we're splitting, we're doing half units, so we're not both burning.
Correct.
$10. Like it's not a double hedging. Like if you're gonna hedge,
you do half unit.
Don't hedge with full units.
No, don't. Yeah, we should have probably mentioned that before. We are half hedging when we do that.
Yeah, like when we split the Man City score lines, they're
half
individual portions. So if we do 3 Man Cities, they're 3. It's a third of a unit, is what we're
correct.
Yeah.
So we're at plus 270 for the draw. Newcastle at plus 115.
Yeah, I just think it's like a 1-1 game.
I think Newcastle wins this game, dude.
By the way, what is the total on the unders? I don't know.
Under is my favorite.
Under 2.5 is plus 132.
Man, they expect this to be high scoring. Have you seen Newcastle lately?
Over 2.5 is minus 160. So they expect 3 goals in this game, is what they're telling you.
I could see a 2-1 Newcastle win. I'm taking it. Newcastle wins 2-1.
Okay. I still don't like the minus 160. We'll just take the money lines in the draw.
All right, that works. Man United. By the way, this would be the game of the week. Man United traveling to Aston Villa. Aston Villa, I know this is a bad week when this is the game of the week. Man, you go to Aston Villa. I mean, I'm already gonna say it. because we're on a roll here. We're on a heater. We're gonna keep it going. And you know
All
what
right,
I'm gonna say?
all
Aldi
right.
Walkie Watkins, baby. Get me out. Aldi Watkins goal. Just put it on the board.
What is it? What is he going off at? Doesn't
Probably he
matter.
has to be a
Oh,
minus by now.
no, he's not. He's plus 150.
Put it on the board. I mean, come on, dude.
That's
We're
fine.
dumb. This is
I
dumb.
like that as like the only bet on this game.
This is dumb that we're doing this. By the way, the draw on this is plus 260, which is almost towards one of the lowest draw totals of the week. So expected a draw is kind of what Vegas is telling us here. Aston Villa is a favorite, plus 130. Man United sitting at plus plus 200, plus 180, plus 160. What are you high? What do you make of this game? It's the game of the week, I guess. Both teams need it. Aston Villa, not as much as Man U. What's your take here? I mean,
I really want to. I really want to think that Aston Villa is going to win this.
Man U has had Aston Villa's number the last 3 times. They won both times last year by a 1-goal advantage, 2-1
Yeah,
and 3-2.
that's the only thing that gives me hesitation is like Man U was terrible last year, right? They had the worst season by most accounts in their Premier League history last year. Villa had one of their best, finished 4th in Champions League competition, and yet Man U still beat them twice.
That's true. So is
And
the
it's
only bet we're
basically the
taking this is
same.
Ollie Watkins' goal?
It's basically the same Man U side, and it's basically the same Villa side. There's a couple new pieces in there.
But
They
Bruno
don't
Fernandes,
factor.
isn't Bruno Fernandes suspended for this game because of the red card?
No, he's
Oh,
back.
because it was overturned. That's right.
It was overturned, so he's back for the next 3. He does get a yellow, but I don't think he's anywhere close to yellow card
He will
accumulation.
be. He'll get his
I mean,
normal 2-game
eventually.
suspension for yellow cards, but
Do we
um,
want to see what the line
on totals are in this one.
No, I'm curious what Bruno Fernandes anytime goal is plus 330.
I'm not doing that.
I'm doing it.
All right, I'll take Ollie
You know
Watkins. You
why?
take Bruno Fernandes.
You know why? Before he got the red card last week, from the start of the season to when he got the red card last week, he'd taken 17 shots. None of them have gone in, but 17 shots without a goal is the longest stretch anybody's had in quite some time in the Premier League to start a season. He's back.
And looking at the Aston Villa defense, they are in the 10th or towards the bottom on all.
I'm taking a shot.
That's
Taking a shot.
a shot in the dark, huh?
I mean, somebody's got to score for Man U, right?
And
he
if
leads the team in shots taken.
if Ollie Watkins scores and hits for the 4th week in a row, I will buy an Ollie Watkins Aston Villa jersey.
I mean, they're kind of sweet. Have you seen their white
They're
kits?
they're pretty
They're
cool.
pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
and
lie.
I'm a Liverpool fan, and I can't wait till he plays for Liverpool next year because he is one of the most exciting players in the
Just
Premier
wait till
League.
Chelsea comes in and takes, and then they have Ollie Watkins and Cole Palmer
Do
together.
they have any money left? Jesus.
Yes, they sold a hotel, man. They're fine.
Defensively, Man U's actually been pretty good defensively towards the bottom of the top half of the table.
Yeah.
To be honest,
I'm
I'm not gonna bet on it, but in our pick'em pool, I'm gonna pick this as a draw. I don't want to bet on it.
but I'm not betting on the line.
Not betting on the line. I'm not but
We'll
I'm
just
gonna
do
pick it as a draw.
props. Because hell, if it ends 1-1 draw, but it's both Watkins and Bruno Fernandes, and we're crushing it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yes. Do we go back to the well here that we didn't do last week? Nottingham Forest at Chelsea. Chelsea plus 340. Nottingham Forest plus 550. I'm sorry, Chelsea minus 208. The draw is plus 340, which is surprising to me.
I'm not taking this game as a Forest fan. I'm not like I fully expect Chelsea to win. I'm hoping for points of any kind.
Are we off of Cole Palmer?
It's got to be a Nico week, right?
I think I was just gonna say the same.
You
thing.
also get Morgan Gibbs White is back for Forest, which will help immensely because they're a totally different squad with Gibbs White in it. He didn't play last week because he was suspended from the double yellow.
Oh, it has to be a Nico week, man.
I mean, he did everything but score last week. He
Nico week.
assisted on one of the Palmer goals.
What are the odds on the anytime?
I don't know. Let's go find out because we're doing this to ourselves again.
I didn't have Nico on my list, but then I realized he didn't hit last week, so he has to hit
Plus
this.
160. I mean, Cole Palmer's my plus 105. I'm taking Nico at plus 160.
Yes.
Like Cole Palmer's been great, but like I feel like he has spurts where he'll show up and have like a 3 or 4 goal game, and then he goes away in terms of scoring for like 2 games,
Yeah.
and then
Can we put a full unit on over 2.5 at minus 120?
yes.
Okay, let's do that. Because that's stupid.
Plus 160 over 2.5.
Minus 120 over 2.5. Yeah, that's dumb. That's gonna change by tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
if it's a 2-1 Chelsea win,
That's stupid. I just saw it right now. I was like, yes.
I would gladly take a draw here from my perspective as a like if we get any points out of this game, great. I
Yeah.
just don't know how Forest does it in the form that Chelsea's in right now.
So you're okay with a minus 120 for over 2.5?
Yes,
Okay, cool. Yeah, me
that's
too.
fine.
That's gonna
And
be
then
it.
we have one more game left.
That'll be by 3 tomorrow. Your boys Tottenham going to Brighton Hove Albion, aka Amex Stadium.
Yeah.
Brighton and Hove Albion. What the hell is that? What the hell is a Hove Albion?
They're grouping towns together to make them feel bigger, I guess. I don't know.
Oh. Poor Hove Albion because everybody just calls him Brighton.
Yeah. Apparently, by the way, learn this stat. Brighton are the 11th most watched European club across
Oh,
the 5
they have a huge
major.
following and
Yeah.
and a ton of boosters that paid for that stadium, which is
Because
immaculate.
well, what brought it up is their sleeve sponsor is Kissimmee, Florida. And I was like confused. And it turns out Kissimmee is like trying to get people to go, like they're swapping tourists.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense then.
And they're doing it because it's the 11th most watched. It's a beach town in England, and they're the 11th most watched club in all of Europe.
It's crazy.
Either
Well,
way,
we're talking about a team who's on the up and a team that's on the down. Tottenham, 2 straight wins, scoring 3 goals in each one of them. Brighton, however, lost 4-2 to Chelsea and tied Nottingham. Tie. Not winning games like they did earlier this season when they were in the top 4 in the table. Last year, Tottenham won 2-1, and Brighton actually got one in this fixture, 4-2 last season. Where you going?
I don't really like the split in the lines. Like Tottenham's favored at plus 130, basically.
Yep. And you got Brighton
And
at plus
Brighton's at plus
190,
190.
plus 175 at some places as well.
Yeah. And
With
the
the draw
draw
being
is
at
plus
plus
310. I'm not gonna bet the I don't want to bet I don't want to bet the line to be honest. Like
I don't either.
I
Is
mean
there
Tottenham in their current form should go in there and beat Brighton.
what's the 2.5 line on this one?
We love this line, don't we?
2.5 is my favorite line, dude.
Oh,
That's where
you
it's
don't
at.
want the over.
I do. Oh no, it's at 3.5.
Not at
Oh,
minus 240, you
yeah,
don't.
it's sitting. The line for just normal where its value is 3.5 in this game.
Yeah.
3.5.
Yeah. Over 3.5 is plus 102. Under 3.5 is minus 120.
So they're expecting a lot of goals in this one. And if you go back and look,
Tottenham has been scoring up a storm of late.
3.5 in
I
this
mean, they beat
matchup,
the ever-loving daylights out of Karabag in the Europa League down a man.
dude. 3.5 in this matchup has only hit once
Yep.
since 2018.
Yeah, I don't
That means
like this game
over
for betting.
3.5 has hit one time in the last 10 matchups.
Yeah, it was the 4-2 game last year.
Correct.
Which, by the way, I want it pointed out that came after the disastrous Chelsea game for Tottenham, where like everybody got injured and 2 dudes got red cards.
Mm-hmm. Now, interesting enough, one of the worst teams in the Premier League this year, and here's a bet I wanted to see if you agree that maybe we can have. Ranked 17th, goals in the first half. Brighton.
So you want no goals for Brighton in the first half?
Tottenham, ranked number 4 offensively goals in the first half.
Actually, hold up. I'm very curious. There is a bet I want to see. I want to see if they've moved this line based on what he's recently done.
Tottenham, in the second half of games, ranked number 2 in goals scored in the second half.
You know what? I'm going to take anytime goal scorer Brennan Johnson at plus 295.
Yeah. But okay, yeah,
He's
295.
4 since.
Here's what we do: we're saying we're going to be more conservative, and then we go. No.
Son is plus 165. He may not play. He didn't play against Man U.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I like the Brandon Johnson. Put that on the board.
I mean,
But
plus the dude has been on fire since the lead.
do we want to take Tottenham to lead at half?
To lead at half. What's it going off at?
I'm not sure, but I'm just telling you the stats I see right here is ranked 17th in the Premier League in the first half. Goals against Brighton, which means they give up goals early. Number 4 in the Premier League, Tottenham. I'm scoring goals in the first half.
Tottenham to be leading at half is plus 175. A draw at half is plus 160. So this is very weird. Like, why is it telling you that no goals are going to score early, but the second half is going to have a crap ton of
What
goals?
is happening here? This is unreal.
This is why I don't like any of these lines because
it's a weird week. It's a weird week.
They're telling 2 different stories. They're telling
but
you
this is the week we're going to win it all because last week we thought we knew, and this week we don't think we know exactly. Give me Tottenham leads at half.
Okay.
It's going with the stats. And a Brandon Johnson. By the way, how cool would it be if Tottenham is leading at half with the Brandon Johnson goal?
That would be. I would love it, to be honest.
I would love it too.
I'm a big Brennan Johnson guy. I don't think he deserves the hate that he's
Nah.
getting. Everybody at Tottenham loves Timo Werner, and they hate Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson has 4 goals in 4 games. Timo has 4 goals in 40 games.
What the hell is What the hell has Timo Werner done in the last 3 years? Nothing.
He had a 36 goal and assist season in the Bundesliga at one point.
Yeah, when he was with what?
Leipzig.
Yeah, that's right. Come on, get out of here.
Which he's technically on loan from, by the way. Tottenham doesn't have him. He's just on loan.
Is he on loan from Chelsea?
No, he's on loan from Leipzig.
Oh, Leipzig. That's right.
He was on loan from Leipzig starting in the January window last year, and then they re-upped the loan in the summer window.
Wasn't Timo on Chelsea for a little bit and failed?
Yes, because he can't score.
Do anything.
It's really a wide open shot again against Man U.
Yeah, I like it. They still won 3-0. All right, we all locked in and we loaded. We locked in, we loaded. I don't feel as confident this week as I did last week, which is a good thing. But we'll see how it all transpires. At the Salesman, Matthew Sells on all your favorite social media platforms, mostly Twitter. You're on Facebook as well, though. Get Matthew Sells on Facebook. Got a little Instagram going as well. I'm at Edward Rouse on all your favorite social media platforms. We look forward to this week. A huge match week.
Yes.
Liverpool remains on top. Oh, yeah. That too.
Then we get a break.
We deserve a break, Matt Sells.
Yes. This is
because of all of our domination up until last week.
Yeah.
From myself and Matthew Sells, this has been Keeping It EPL. Enjoy the match week. It's going to be a good one. Will the tables turn again? We'll have to find out next week. See you soon.